Hello everyone, and welcome Xbox players. Even though I haven't made a Helldivers video in a minute, I thought it might be a good idea to make one today for anyone out there who might be getting into Helldivers 2 for the first time. Today's video will be chopped up into the following chapters, so please feel free to jump around the video to wherever you like. Starting off with, what are major orders? While on your ship, you may see in the top right corner that you can access your orders by hitting whatever button. This will show you what the current major orders are, as well as how much time you have remaining in order to complete them. Personal orders are mission objectives just for you as an individual, while major orders are for the entire Helldivers community. For example, at the time of me recording this, one of our current major orders is for the entire community to kill 6 billion Terminids within the next 9 days and 14 hours. Currently, we're at around 12.8% completed with that goal. Not bad. If we as a community complete the goal within the given time frame, then we all get a reward. In this case, that would be 55 Warbond medals. I'll go over what those are later in the currency section, but yeah, medals are the usual reward. It should be noted that if the community does succeed and you don't participate, you still get the reward whenever you log in, but try to help out whenever you can. And depending on what our major orders are, that usually dictates what type of enemies out there we should maybe focus on fighting. We've got the Terminids, aka the bug enemies. We've got the automatons, aka the robot enemies, or the Illuminate, the weird squid-like alien enemies. Of course, you can always fight against whatever you feel like, no matter what the major order tells you to do, but sometimes there are really cool rewards for completing major orders, like a completely new stratagem unlocked for the entire community, and sometimes there are community-wide consequences for not completing major orders, like the enemy getting even closer to Super Earth and maybe missing out on other rewards that might have been on the table, like a new stratagem or whatever. Moving on, what difficulty should you play? When you've chosen a planet to spread democracy on, your first step should be picking your difficulty level, which ranges from 1, aka trivial difficulty, to 10, aka super helldive. Although I believe that when you're first starting out, you won't have access to the higher difficulties just yet. You have to unlock them eventually by progressing further and further up the difficulty ladder. Aside from the higher difficulties being way more target rich and way harder, the rule of thumb usually is the stronger the difficulty, the better the rewards. By completing a trivial difficulty operation, which consists of just one mission, our completion bonus would be just 1 medal, which isn't that great. Also, we can see on the bottom of the screen that our available samples, aka unique currency we can find on the ground and collect during the mission, is limited to just common samples, which is that green symbol down there. By completing a super helldive operation, which consists of 3 different missions, our completion bonus would be 9 medals after beating mission 1, 12 medals after beating mission 2, and 15 medals after beating mission 3. Also, we can see on the bottom of our screen that our available samples we can collect in the mission, again currency that you can find on the ground during the mission, consists of common samples, rare samples, and super samples. At the end of the day, mission difficulty is really up to you. As you get better at the game, think about pushing the difficulty meter up a little bit to see how you do. The more you unlock and the better you get at the game, the easier it might be, and you get access to more rewards, which is nice. How to play Helldivers 2, mission basics, and side objectives. When you have selected a mission and entered your Hell Pod, your fire team leader will choose exactly where the entire team will drop down onto the map. When you've landed, usually the following will happen right away. Your teammates will probably call in a few support stratagems, aka some additional weapons or utility items like a jetpack or a shield backpack or what have you. Then when everybody is geared up and ready to go, you'll open up your map, pick a direction, and head out. I find that experienced teams usually divide into 2 groups of 2, but new players may find it easier to head out in just 1 group of 4. It doesn't matter either way, you do you. Giant red blotches on your map are essentially enemy base camps that you can head towards and completely wipe out, or if you want, you can ignore them and 100% focus on the main objective. I would absolutely recommend getting into the habit of destroying all enemy base camps though off the map, because the more of them you clear out, the better your end of mission rewards will be, as you'll see in the mission post-game screen. Enemy camps usually have spawn structures that need to be blown up. For example, Terminid base camps have giant holes in the ground that, if left undestroyed, can continue spawning enemy Terminids every now and then. By throwing a grenade or hitting these bug holes with anything that has the ability to explode, you can close them one at a time. Some stratagems that call in a lot of explosions are very good at doing this on a large scale, but we'll get to that later. In the same vein as base camps, sometimes you'll find areas on your map with a light blue symbol. Those are side objectives, and usually by heading to one, the game will tell you once you've arrived how to complete that particular side objective. You can ignore these if you want and only focus on the main objective, which will be orange, but the more side objectives you complete, the better your end game rewards will be. Some side objectives can help your team be more lethal in the field. For example, finding and loading up a Sief artillery cannon is not only a side objective that is easy to complete, but it will allow you to use the artillery cannon for the remainder of the mission, albeit with limited ammunition that you loaded into the gun, but still, free firepower is awesome. When teammates die, and they will die, trust me, you can bring them back into the field by using the reinforcement stratagem. Just remember that wherever you throw the stratagem on the map, that is the general area that they're going to drop back in. So with that in mind, whoever is the closest to where that teammate died should probably call them back in. That way, the revived player doesn't have to run 10 miles across the entire map to go get all of their gear back. Also, remember you have limited reinforcements. Although if you do run out of reinforcements, you'll eventually get extra ones, but you get them one at a time after a certain amount of time has gone by on a timer. And honestly, that isn't really ideal, so definitely have fun out there, but try to lock the hell in when the reinforcement stratagem number starts to get low. When the main mission objective has been completed, you should then head to the extraction point, which looks like this on your map. If you're in the middle of combat and can't really be bothered to look at your map, you can always just look for the tall, thin blue beam up in the sky. Head in that direction, and then whenever you're ready, go to the console, punch in the code it tells you to, and activate your extraction timer. Hold your ground while the timer goes down, then when the dropship arrives, everybody hop on and GTFO. Take note, you may find yourselves in a situation where if things are getting really wild, only one or two of you may make it out alive. But that's okay, you still get your medal rewards for completing the mission no matter what. Do keep in mind though, if you find samples during the mission, you will need to be alive and have those on your person on the dropship in order to officially claim them when extracting out of the mission. Also, don't worry about who in the fire team is carrying the samples. No matter who on the team extracts with the samples, the entire team gets them together. So don't argue about who gets to extract with them. Don't team kill to try and grab them. That's really stupid. They're all shared. Moving on, what stratagems should you unlock first/use in combat? This is a really hard question to answer. Stratagems are the awesome things you can call in during combat, whether that be unique weapons, orbital strikes, turrets, you name it. They are powerful as hell, they're extremely lethal, and they make the game pretty damn fun. You can only bring in a max of 4 stratagems at a time, and you have to unlock them one at a time from your ship, usually at the cost of requisition slips. Whichever ones speak to you, that's usually what you should go for. Eventually, if you play enough, you can easily unlock the vast majority of stratagems in the game, no problem. You can try looking around for, what are the best stratagems if you want, but remember that Arrowhead will nerf or buff things every now and then, so any stratagem that is god tier today could be bad tomorrow. If you're asking me personally, I usually like to have some kind of backpack stratagem that I carry on my person at all times, whether that be the jump pack, the shield generator pack, or the relatively new warp pack. I also like to have some kind of portable heavy weapon to deal with larger, heavily armored enemies. Either the expendable anti-tank, the laser cannon, or the quasar cannon are all fun choices that I usually lean on pretty heavily. I like to have some form of crowd control that can also destroy buildings or a bug nest, so the Eagle Airstrike is one I go to a lot. It's usually a tried and true pick. I also sometimes like having a big FU type stratagem to deal with giant imposing threats, usually something like the orbital laser or the orbital rail cannon strike. But again, you do you. There are plenty of great options, and it is important to just F around and choose what you enjoy using. Try to remember though to unlock new stratagems literally whenever you can, because there is a maximum amount of requisition slips that you can hold. So yeah, definitely remember to spend them before you hit that max limit, because you wouldn't want to earn 0 rec slips for completing a mission. So again, yeah, unlock things as frequently as you can. And hey, real quick, before we get to the best boosters in the game, why don't we talk about the best browsers? That's right, today's video is sponsored by Opera GX, the best browser you should be using, so a very big and very fast shout out to them. There are RAM and CPU limiters to optimize performance when gaming. It also includes a free VPN, a Twitch integration feature, and a wide range of highly customizable themes and wallpapers. Check out Opera GX via my link in the pinned comment, and thank you Opera GX for sponsoring today's video very quickly. All right, what are the best boosters? When launching into a mission and picking what stratagems you'll be bringing along, you'll also have a chance at selecting a booster, which are these yellow hexagon looking things. The buff given by a booster will be applied to the entire fire team, so don't think of these as something to just bring for your own benefit. And because booster effects are applied to the entire team, it's usually the case that players try to bring the absolute best ones that they possibly can. For example, it's a pretty strongly held community belief that Hellpod Space Optimization is a god tier must-have booster that will almost always be brought on high difficulty missions no matter what. After all, if you don't bring it, you have less ammo, less grenades, and less stims every time you drop into the map, and that honestly just sucks. Some boosters I can wholeheartedly recommend new players look to get are Hellpod Space Optimization, Experimental Infusion, Vitality Enhancement, Stamina Enhancement, and depending on the planet and the map size, Muscle Enhancement. And on that note, if you're noticing in-game that you don't have as many boosters available as I do, and you're wondering where they are, why don't we talk about Warbonds? Specifically, what Warbonds should you get, if any? While on your ship, hit whatever button your screen is telling you to bring up the acquisitions page. When you do, it'll show you each and every warbond currently in the game that you can browse through and unlock. Warbonds are essentially content packs that allow you to unlock new weapons, new stratagems, new boosters, new armor, and new cosmetic items. Now, technically, while warbonds can be bought with real money, you can get every warbond in the game via 100% gameplay only. They cost super credits to unlock, but again, super credits can literally be found in-game when exploring the map. They're rare, but you can find them in bunkers and other loot-rich areas, which is one of the reasons it's important to explore the entire map during a mission. Again, if you wanted to, you could just buy super credits with real money, but you don't have to, and eventually, if you play enough and find enough super credits, you can unlock every warbond in the game one at a time. It just might take you a while. It's very difficult to say what warbonds you should unlock first, because every warbond usually has really good options, and if you really want to explore what your absolute favorite weapons and stratagems in the game are, you'd eventually want to unlock every warbond, although again, that might take a while. Here's some good news though. Helldivers Mobilize is the first ever warbond that was put into the game. It is the largest warbond by far, and it includes a lot of great stuff that is still highly meta to this day, like the previously mentioned Hellpod Space Optimization booster, which is available on page 3. I'd say start off with Helldivers Mobilize to get a feel for how warbonds work, and then when you're a little bit more comfortable, look through the other ones in the game, save up your super credits, and unlock one that looks fun. It is important to note though that when you've unlocked a warbond, you don't automatically get everything included in that warbond right away. You still need to unlock each individual item on the warbond in order to get access to that item. The currency you use to unlock each item on a warbond is medals, which is usually why completing major orders is so important to a lot of players. It's just a great way to earn free medals. I'd say that every time a new warbond comes out, it would probably be a good idea to check out reviews from whatever trusted YouTubers or streamers you might follow to see what, if anything, from that warbond they recommend unlocking and using. Or you could just unlock it all on your own and test every new weapon yourself, your call. And on that note, what weapons should you use? Again, another tricky question to answer for first-time players, but in short, it's whatever you enjoy using, although there are options that are more meta than other options. In short, it kind of depends on the enemy that you're fighting. In my personal experience, I find that the Plaz 10 Purifier is extremely effective against automatons, decent on the Illuminate, and not really that great against bugs. Meanwhile, the CB9 Exploding Crossbow is extremely effective against bugs, pretty damn good on automatons, and struggles against the Illuminate that aren't the weak trash level metal illuminate. But those definitely aren't the only options out there. Basically, you're going to want to fiddle around with a lot of different weapon types against different enemy factions to figure out what you feel is effective. One thing you should definitely take note of is what level armor penetration your weapon has. Most primary weapons in the game come with either light or medium armor penetration. In time and experience, you'll learn what enemies in the game have what level armor. For example, this Terminid bug right here, his shield head is classified as medium armor. If I shoot him in that big head with a weapon that only has light armor penetration, the bullets will bounce off of his head. If I tap him with medium armor penetration though, the bullets go right through, just something to keep in mind. Also important, Helldivers features weapon customization. The more you use a weapon, the higher level you'll get with that weapon. The higher your weapon level, the more things you'll be able to unlock, like better weapon sights or attachments that can affect recoil, magazine size, and more. Finally, all currencies, how to get them, and what they do. The currencies in Helldivers are as follows: requisition slips, super credits, medals, common samples, rare samples, and super samples. Requisition slips are extremely easy to earn in Helldivers 2. You can find them in minor places of interest, aka pods or bunkers, tucked away locations in missions basically. You can also get them by completing mission objectives and from extracting from missions. Basically, even if you don't find requisition slips hidden on the map during a mission, you'll still get plenty of them by just playing the game and beating objectives and extracting. Requisition slips are used to unlock new stratagems on your ship. Super credits are a much more rare currency. They can mainly be found in missions in places of interest, aka in the occasional pod or bunker, depending on how good your RNG is. Super credits can also be bought with real money, and they can also be in Warbonds, which you can buy for medals, which is kind of funny, right? Because Warbonds are bought by super credits, but yeah, most Warbonds actually have tiny little super credit bundles in them, which is, again, kind of funny. Again, super credits are used to buy Warbonds and also cosmetic items at the superstore. Medals are easily obtained by completing missions, as well as completing major orders and personal orders, and they can be found in missions in places of interest like bunkers and pods and whatnot. Medals are used to unlock items within Warbonds, making them a very valuable currency, but maybe not as valuable as super credits. Common samples, rare samples, and super samples can all be found in missions scattered across the map. The more you play Helldivers, the more you'll come to recognize the types of locations that usually have some kind of samples on the ground. Super samples are very frequently found near giant structures that look like this, kind of a phallic-shaped rock, if I'm being dead honest. If you're out in a mission, always be on the lookout for the dick rock to be sure that you collect and bring home super samples. Although remember, there's usually 2 of these rocks per map, so you may find one without samples. It's not always guaranteed. Samples are used in buying ship module upgrades. Basically, these are permanent combat buffs that make you more lethal on the field. For example, payroll management system reduces reload time for all support weapons by 10%, and it shows all the weapons over there on the right that are affected by this permanent buff, which again, pretty strong. Usually, the stronger the upgrade, the more expensive it will be. Therefore, always try to extract from a mission carrying samples if you can. Samples are very important to collect. And now I'd like to ask that anyone out there who's watching today's video who might be a Helldivers veteran help me in welcoming the new players by dropping some advice down in the comment section. I'll kick things off in the pinned comment, but share your best tips down there. And keep in mind, I also have a few Helldivers tips videos out there that you can check out for more information. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.